Hello, everyone. Welcome to Birth Vibe by Birthright, a space where honest discussions about pregnancy and childbirth, which is very empowering and informative. I'm Dr. Swapna, obstetrician at Birthright by Rainbow Hospital. Today, we're going to discuss about the most important topic. Uh, Pregnancy and childbirth are most precious moments in for every family and in every couple. From this, in this process or the journey of pregnancy and childbirth comes labor. We are here to burst all the myths about what are the pain relief options and what can a woman go through this process being stress free. For this, I am going to join by Dr. Sunidara, senior anesthesiologist at Birthright. Hi, Sunidara.
Hello, Swapna.
Today, we're going to discuss about what are the options a woman will has for labor pains. Now, labor pains are something which every woman is very scared of, anxious, which might make the labor process very painful for them. Being prepared for this process, I feel, will make them will go through this process easily and safely. So, I want to ask you, there is an option of painless labor. So, what does a painless labor mean and what should a woman expect from that?
Okay, so to start off by saying painless labor, I think the terminology can be changed a bit by saying labor with less pain. Okay,
Yeah.
so there should the expectations of the mother should not be that they will come into the delivery room and go through the process with absolutely no pain, right? The our aim here is to give them a pleasurable and comfortable delivery process which they can enjoy and cherish for the rest of their lives, right? So in order to make that, we offer them different techniques, drugs, medications, different procedures where their pain is slightly relieved. So if I can explain it in a better terminology, there is something called as a pain score, which is from 0 to 10. So in any contest, you grade anything on a scale of 0 to 10, right? 0 being no pain, whereas 10 being the worst possible pain. So if the labor process without any pain relief is at around 8 or 9, with our medications and procedures which will reduce the pain scores come down to maybe 2 to 4. So sometimes a pregnant lady who is more sensitive may complain of 4 by 10, whereas a person who is more resistant to pain may say that I am very comfortable and it has come down to 2. So in this process we try to reduce the pain, and no mother should expect that she comes in and the baby just pops out. She will feel the pain, she will feel the contraction, but it will be more tolerable and more pleasurable to her, so that she enjoys the process of the labor.
Okay, so what you mean is pain is not same for every woman.
Yes.
The sensitivity, some women are very sensitive for pain, some women are
Some
not
are,
sensitive.
yes,
So
right.
women have they should have an informed choice to go through and
Exactly.
exact. So
Yeah.
it should be comfortable for them.
Yes.
Does that make, like, a lot of people think that going through pain and labor will make the woman strong? Do you think that's true?
Okay, so let me just bust this misconception that being in pain makes you stronger or labels you as a stronger person. No, it is not a character. The going through the pain does not badge you with strength. Okay, what is strength actually is the process of getting life into this world, the whole, with or without painless delivery. So any mother who is bringing a life to the world is what she should be triumphant about, and not that she will endure pain and that will give her a label of strength.
So that's
Okay.
what you mean is going through labor doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean,
the woman
yes.
is strong.
Yes.
Any woman who gives birth to a child is strong.
Yes.
Yes. So you don't have to go through pain to label yourself being strong.
Strong.
So what are the pain relief options does a woman have?
Okay, so we do have a wide variety of choices. in birth, right? So we can go with regional procedures or with intravenous medications, which can be titrated according to the patient's response, or some breathing techniques and gaseous inhalational techniques where the patient can take in some gases. So there are a wide variety of options, and it completely depends upon the patient or the pregnant lady or the family what they want to choose. So if you want me to enumerate the different methods, the best method would be the epidural, which we give it in the back, the lowermost portion of the back. So to make it simple, we put in a needle, and through that we thread in a catheter which stays in the patient's back till the delivery process is over. And through the same catheter we put in some medications continuously at a given rate by some small very low concentration of medication, which will just numb the nerves and give them pain relief. This can be titratable again.
Is there any time specific that they have to take epidural at certain dilatations, or can they take it any time in labor?
It's completely up to their choice. There is no hard and fast rule that only after so many centimeters of dilatation of cervix they have to take in the epidural, or they choose for any other method of pain relief. It is completely up to their choice. In fact, I would say that they can site the epidural, or they can get the medications before, keep everything ready, and whenever they feel the pain that they cannot tolerate is when they ask, can we start it? So I have not told you other methods of pain relief, which we call as analgesia. We have something called as IV remifentanil, which is a very strong opioid, which we give through the IV, like you get your IV fluids or the glucose medications. This is an opioid, but it will make the patient feel better, relieve the pain to a certain extent. And there is something called as Entonox, which is a mixture of two gases which will calm the patient down to a certain extent. But in these three methods, I would say the epidural tops it all and gives the maximum pain relief.
Okay. So, are there any conditions where you decide which is better to the patient, or it can be the patient's choice?
So we do give them options about what all are available, but we do give them the opinion also, saying for this your particular case scenario or your situation this would be better, but ultimately the choice lies with the mother itself and the family, where whatever they want we are here to offer.
Okay. So now, as you said, the epidural, you have to site the catheter, right?
Yes.
So they can, what you said is, the catheter can be sited when the patient is in less pain compared to when the patient
Yes.
is in the more pain.
Yes.
So when you site a catheter a little early, and then they can choose when to
When
start
you
the
want to
drug
start
so
the
that
drug.
pain relief
Is,
will be better.
yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
So you can escalate the doses depending upon the
The
patient's.
response the patient has.
Are there any options where patient can herself take the control of her pain?
Yes, definitely. We do have now patient controlled analgesia pumps, where we fill in the drug into the pump and they themselves can press the button. At the press of the button, the drug will be generated and passed on to the epidural catheter, and they can take any number of pushes. It is all set, it is very safe, all the safe limits are set on the pump. So as a matter of fact, they feel empowered that I am able to control my pain relief, which gives them more confidence. In that way it is a feeling of betterment, and they really feel confident of themselves that yes, I can tackle the process of labor also.
So they feel confident, I know how much pain I
Yes.
have and how much,
And how
I
much
can
I
take.
can control it.
Yeah. Are there any cutoff values that you have to take epidural only for certain number of hours, or how long can they take epidural? As some women do have long, prolonged labor, and some people are very.
There's nothing like a time limit, I would say. I mean, as long as the labor process exists, it can be as small as 4 hours, or it can extend to more than 24 hours also. We have given labor epidurals for almost or any form of labor analgesia for more than 48 hours also. So it is not time limit, because we use very low low concentration and safe medications, which does not have to be limited with the number of hours of usage.
Does this have any effect? A lot of women are scared that does epidural has any effect on my baby?
Okay, so very important and wise question you have asked, Swapna, because many people don't take epidural just because they feel that it is not
Yeah.
safe for the baby.
Yes.
So let me just bust the myth over here by saying epidural or remifentanil or Entonox for that matter are very safe. It is scientifically proven, and whatever drugs we are giving into the body, be it in any form, will reach the baby in very minute concentration, which is absolutely safe for the baby. It has been studied and it has been scientifically published also. So world over, people have been using it for decades together and there have been no problems at all. So be rest assured, babies are definitely safer, and in fact the people who actually opt for labor analgesia or pain relief during labor fare much better than the person who does not take it, because pain is obviously an unpleasant sensation,
Yes.
which can cause anxiety and tension and fear among the mothers, which kind of divert them from enjoying the the moment of childbirth. So I think when there is an option of pain free delivery or painless delivery, it is better to opt for it.
Yeah, when we have moved forward from on of so many things, I don't think we should be in that
Exactly.
age-old stage where women have to go through that pain and have a child.
Right.
Then take an options which are available, which are safe, and then
Go
have
ahead.
little pleasant
Yes.
labor.
Yes.
Yes, and a lot of people or a lot of women have are scared of epidural, thinking that this might have affect long term, like a backache or something. Does epidural have any long term side effects or short term
Okay.
side effects?
So again, this is a very common myth which people have, that anything which you poke in the back will cause a backache. So let me tell you and clarify on this point is, backache is not because of the injection you got on the back. It is purely because of the hormonal changes, which
The posture of the
posture of the mother, the lumbar lordosis, they keep bending back to accommodate the gravid uterus. So all these will cause a lot of pressure on the lower back, which they probably see it as backache. So there are many patients who have not taken an epidural or
then
any
also.
injection in the back but still have backache, and people who have opted for an epidural do not have backache at the later stage. So there is absolutely no connection, and you can actually remove that from your mind, that epidural gives backache. It does not.
Yes. So pregnancy itself is a risk factor
Risk
for
factor,
backache.
exactly.
So not to have backache, you have to strengthen your back.
Correct.
After post delivery,
Yes.
do back strengthening exercises for whether if you have taken epidural, not taken epidural, had a normal delivery, had a C-section. Backache is most common, which if you strengthen your back, you'll not have backache.
Yes.
Any other complications which a woman have to know that or expect when they are opting for epidural?
Okay, so see, any medication for that matter, if you get fever, you take paracetamol, right? So even paracetamol is not free of any side effects.
Yes.
If you take it on a long time or if you take an overdose, you can get a liver problem. But that doesn't inhibit us from taking or popping a tablet when we have fever or body pains. The similar way, any medication, any procedure will have some side effects. But then again, you need to see the risk benefit ratio and then go ahead. When there is a process which will give you a better feeling, or pain free delivery process, why not opt for it, right? So there are problems with the drugs, there are problems with the procedures. You may feel a little numbness, you may feel heaviness in your legs when you are given an epidural drug at the initial stages. This will fade away in a couple of hours. We make sure that at the last stage where you are needed to push the baby out, you do not have this numbness, right? Then there can be some amount of patchy block, or sometimes there can be headache after taking this process, but it is a known side effect which can happen very rarely, I would say, and we have protocolized treatment for that. And as any body heals, even the headache comes down over a period of 1 week.
So basically, you need to hydrate. When we compare
Exactly.
with epidural and not taking epidural is more safe to the amount of complications
It can have if you
it
don't
might
take
have.
it.
Yeah.
So obviously here the benefits are much more than
The
what
side
risks are
effects.
expected. And I think in expert hands, in seniors hands, in expert hands, we do believe that we have had very very rare and very few complications in our setup, and we have had so many mothers who have taken in all these labor analgesia
In
procedures.
fact, in my practice, almost 90% of
Yes.
my delivering moms opt for epidural,
Epidural.
and they're very happy with it.
Yes.
So I don't think anyone should thinking about, if I don't think in life we'll go forward thinking that something negative will happen. We'll never move forward.
Be in a positive framework of mind.
Yeah,
and I
so
think that will
any
help
procedure
you out.
as such will have complications, but doesn't mean that we don't go through the procedure. So
Correct.
when you take epidural, the complication risk is very very low. So opting for epidural and going through a painless delivery is much better. That's what you
Yes.
mean. Okay.
And even if you consider remifentanil, Swapna, I think it has come into India for the last 1 or 2 years. And in Birthright by Rainbow, we have had it as one of the first hospitals to use remifentanil for labor pain relief. So that is also an option where if the mothers don't want an epidural, they can opt for remifentanil, which is given in the form of an IV medication, in the form of a continuous infusion, where the patient can themselves titrate the dose and take it whenever they want to. So that is also a very good option if they don't want epidural, and it is available in Rainbow.
So a lot of women ask, like, can we eat if we have taken epidural, or can we move when we take epidural? So what is your take on what women can do when they are on epidural or remifentanil?
So when they have taken an epidural, we ensure that they don't have any numbness. As long as they don't have numbness or heaviness of your legs, and they can walk around. But if they have taken a remifentanil infusion for pain relief, that probably may make you a little drowsy, and we advise them to be in bed, and they may have some amount of nausea, which can be prevented and treated with other medications. So it is again a balance of things which we have to maintain. So with an epidural in place, they can move around, they can
They
walk
can do
around.
their
So
birthing
it is something
exercises,
called
they
as a
can-
walking epidural, and we make sure that if they insist on a walking epidural, we make sure we give them only the amount of doses which will prevent a numbness.
Okay. So what about this Entonox?
Okay, so Entonox, as you commonly call as laughing gas, it is a mixture of a gas called nitrous oxide and equal proportions of oxygen. So this drug, this medication is filled in a syringe, in a cylinder, like our oxygen cylinders. And whenever the contraction starts, the mother has to put the mask, which is connected to the cylinder, over the face, and try to take a deep breath, and that opens up a valve when the gas goes in. This gas actually calms your nerves down, and that's the way it gives you pain relief. It will get your pain score slightly better, but it will not completely remove them.
Yeah. And does it make you heavy-headed or light-headedness?
No,
or
it has nothing to do
nothing
with
to do
those
with nausea,
symptoms.
vomiting?
No, only remifentanil may cause that too at high concentrations and doses, but we don't give that high doses for labor analgesia.
Okay. What are the is there anything which the family can do to support the woman in these choices?
Yes, definitely. The family is a very important part of the labor process. The husband, the mother, the in laws, siblings, everyone can take part in comforting the mother by massaging or giving a few sweet words that yes,
You
in
can do it, the
inculcating the
positive
positive
thing.
confidence in the mother, saying that yes, you can do it, and you can pacify the mother, allay her anxiety and fears, and be with her and just support her in the process of delivery.
Yeah, it's just like, the family, we as an obstetrician, as a nurses, and as a anesthesiologist, we should make sure that, woman, when this she's into this painful part of her journey, is made comfortable with whatever
Yes.
procedures she choose to
Correct.
wants. But do you think that, this has to be informed prior, or she can decide what she wants whenever she comes in labor?
So we do have these antenatal classes where they will be informed of all these availabilities if they want to have. But if in case they don't know, we do explain to
Yeah,
them
as an
in brief.
emergency, she's not planned, and then
No
she
problem.
just
Even
come.
then, see, we have round the clock anesthesiologists 24/7 available and ready to help them out at any point of time. So even if they don't know anything, they can come in at odd hours. We will explain to them, give them the option. They can choose from the array of labor analgesia or painless processes, and whatever they would wish for, we deliver that.
Is it compulsory that woman has to go through any of these options, or she can?
See,
Uh,
it's completely up to her
yeah,
choice. Nothing will be forced onto a mother, but
it's their choice. Like,
yes,
how
it is
it
finally her
doesn't.
choice.
Yeah, if it's something is painful for me, it doesn't have to be painful for you.
Yes,
If the woman is going through the process of labor and she wants it to be in a certain way, we can help her out whatever she chooses.
yes,
For what with offering her so many
yes.
pain relief
I
options.
would like to actually comment at this stage about opt if they want to opt for such procedures or processes of labor analgesia. Maybe they can take it a little earlier than wait till the last stage.
So they'll not have that pleasure of pain
Yeah,
relief.
so
She
you
will
might
not have.
as well enjoy your delivery by taking it a little early and having less pain so that you can concentrate and kind of build on your labor process by talking to your partner or planning out something else. So the confidence, the aura, the way you prepare for your delivery process itself totally changes once your pain is relieved.
Yes.
So I would say earlier the better.
Yeah, and a lot of women think that, their labor will be delayed if they take epidural. I don't believe in it. What is your thought in it?
So, scientifically, the second stage of labor might be prolonged for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, which is
That is if they
absolutely
are
nothing.
numb, right?
Exactly. If they are completely numb
Numb.
below the waist.
Yeah, if they're not
But if
able
they
to
are not,
push.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they are not able to push, maybe the second stage may get prolonged by a few minutes. And a few minutes in a duration of 8 to 10 hours for a first time mother during labor process is actually negligible at the cost of having less pain, right? So I feel that is
Again, a
it's
myth.
okay
It
to
is, yeah.
even.
So that is why the cutoff values of labor with labor analgesia, without labor analgesia for second stage of labor differ. Like, it's for 2 hours and 3 hours. There's 1 hour extra for labor analgesia.
Not maybe hours, but by a few minutes probably.
Yeah, it is delayed, but
Delayed.
normally the
But
guideline
it
says you
doesn't
can
matter
wait.
because we are finally ensuring the safety of the mother and the safety of the baby,
Yeah.
because they both of them will be under continuous monitoring. As long as both are healthy and safe, it's okay to wait for another half an hour or 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's absolutely okay to do that.
Okay. Anything else you want to add for the women who want to go through this labor analgesia?
If suppose there is a maternal indication or a fetal indication for converting the normal delivery process into a cesarean section. See, sometimes even though the mother is induced into labor and they plan for a normal delivery, but end up having a cesarean section, and they have taken an epidural for pain free labor, the same epidural can be converted, and
Yeah, you don't have to give one
you
more
don't have to
anesthesia.
actually stick in another needle and another form of anesthesia for section. You can use the same epidural and go ahead and get your cesarean section done. But when you are converting, we use higher concentration and higher volumes of local anesthetic drugs, which will make you completely numb below your
And
tummy.
completely pain relief.
Yeah, complete pain relief will be there.
Are there any women who can't take epidural, perfect contraindications for epidural?
So there are a few medical conditions where there will be bleeding problems, where the blood doesn't clot, or they can be, and if there are any allergies to any local anesthetic drugs what we use, or a complete no from the patient, is these are the
Or any woman who's on blood
clinical
thinners for
conditions,
certain
blood
amount
thinners,
of.
and blood doesn't clot in some medical conditions. Those are the patients we don't advise epidural to be taken. And but in spite of that, we do have remifentanil as a second option, which they can take and be happy about that.
Okay, with this, I think you had good information about pain relief in labor. Comfort is birthright of every woman. So here you can choose your options and make your birthing process, which is once or twice in a lifetime, and make this more comfortable. I hope you people subscribe and share this to all women who want to go through labor pain free. Thank you.